Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to episode 140 of Psycho's Platters. I'm feeling so-so today, guys. Always powered by coffee and my mega huge Christmas mug. So I got to show you what shirt I'm wearing today. It says, "Violent Femmes, we can do anything." That is the tour shirt from the new album and the CD that they are promoting right now on tour. I got to tell you really quickly here. We had the pleasure, me and the missus, to go and see them July 17th at Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, if you know what that venue is, good for you, honestly. But if you don't know what Kane's Ballroom is, that is a ballroom it's a music venue that has been around since 1924. Starting off with legends like Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, Hank Williams Sr., going through to Ernest Tubb, Ray Price. I'm led to believe most of the Sun artists, you know, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee, Carl Perkins, I know they all played there. Lots of rock acts too. The Sex Pistols played the original Sex Pistols. Well, I take that back, with Sid Vicious, okay? So that's how long ago we're talking. Sid punched a hole in the backstage area. I'm told there supposedly is a small frame in that area that says Sid Vicious punched this wall. It was the second to the last Sex Pistols gig in January of '78 before they broke up. So, to finally see a show of this caliber, like I said, it's a ballroom. It's mostly standing room. There is some chairs and some benches off to the sides. But we got our ass there early. We ended up getting front row, I'm not kidding you, between center stage and stage left. We took some decent pictures. We kept trying for pics. We were this close once or twice. They don't do set lists. We found this out. There wasn't set list taped to that floor. But we ended up getting this CD, and afterwards, and according to somebody that goes to these venues on and off for many years, they ended up doing a meet and greet. Well, 2/3 of the band. Violent Femmes, Gordon Gano, Brian Ritchie, and then they've got a new guy who's in there now. Name's escaping me, but Brian Vigilone was the one who drummed on this. But the new drummer and who's on a little bit of this, and Brian Ritchie signed this CD. This is a very cool album. If you've never heard of these guys, go grab this. I think you will be very, very pleased. The sound on here, it's nothing. This band is like nothing I honestly have ever heard before. They use all different kinds of instrumentation, and like I said, there's a gatefold here. That's what it looks like. But half of this album gets stuck in my head already. They were playing at least four to five tracks off this. Violent Femmes have been around since, technically since '81, but they didn't put out their first album until '83. But we went through the line, which I'm not kidding you, was a sold-out show. Half the people that were in the venue stuck around. That was the first thing I got signed. But then I managed to find some vinyl shortly before I left for the trip. But I couldn't find their first album. But I found the second album, Hallowed Ground, and I asked Brian Ritchie to sign this for me. He was so nice, honestly. So I asked him to write a to Paul from Brian Ritchie. As you can see, it's a dark album cover, but it's signed in gold Sharpie. So I was very, very happy about that. The whole experience was really, really good. If you want to see the pictures, just go under my Facebook page, Paul Pease, and then I just put a new photo album called Violent Femmes Concert, Kane's Ballroom. Alright, so let's see here. What else do I want to talk about really quick? Thank you very much for all the people that watched the 250 subscriber contest that I did, and also to those who participated. I'm going to re-clarify here, please, because I did try to do this in the contest drawing post. All 6 of the participants won a prize. I think there's a little confusion here. All 6 of the participants that I drew out of the hat won a prize. It's just the first person that was named was the 6th, going all the way to the last name in the hat was the first. So, saying that the first person, okay, that the last one in the hat, which I think was Sloop John H., gets first pick of the prizes that I offered in the contest drawing video, and so on. Alright, so those 6 people, and you know who you are because you watched the video, you are all winners. So please, I did get 2 or 3 emails, which forgive me, I haven't had a chance to read yet, but I have been receiving emails. I want to say Baraka P. Dub and Sloop John H. I know I got yours too, and I got a third one if I remember correctly. So please, guys, go off and if you haven't sent me an email, go back to the contest drawing video and you'll find out the information on that, okay? So, let's see. One last thing. I just got this in the mail today. Thank you, Trish Mullins, for the new mix CD, Clam Jam 2016. I have not had a chance to listen to this. I'm probably going to either listen to this tonight or sometime later in the week. But thank you for sending this to me. Such a nice mix everywhere. So, all right, vinyl finally, right? Vinyl finds. I'm not going to lie to you. I've got about enough for 5 or 6 episodes. That's maybe even more. That's how many I have here. But let's just go to the one that's the most recent for me. The fact of the matter is this. Where I work at a big box retailer, sort of, okay, an offshoot. And there's a lot of people that I bump into, friends and acquaintances, and they know of my vinyl obsession and my hobby and everything else, even though the wife likes to roll her eyes every time I come home with with more batches of records. It's just because right now they're cluttering the living room. As soon as I get that last piece of furniture that I told you guys about, it'll look a lot better in there, trust me. Like I said, I know what I'm looking for in my head. It's just trying to find that piece is going to be an interesting story. But, so, last week, I had a customer come on in, and she goes off and says to me, you know what? My mom has a box of records in her closet, in the bottom of her closet. It used to be in a storage shed, but they ended up in her closet. And I kind of felt that. I'm like, I don't want to take your mother's records. You know, just your mother's records. I originally thought the mom passed away, you know what I'm saying? But it turned out she didn't pass away. She ended up in a nursing home. And she didn't have anything to play them on, and you know, she asked the mother said it was alright, so I'm like, okay, well, that's fine then. So here's the thing, there was a whole box full, okay, a whole box of albums. I'd say maybe about between 40 and 50, okay, the box was almost full. Some of them unfortunately were warped. I pitched those right away. They were beyond saving. It was mostly 70s reissue type stuff. I took the 9 or 10 out that I'm going to show you in a minute. Doug Fields, he took some, thankfully enough, my buddy. And then the rest of them, yes, I'm going to admit, I doled them off, the reasonable shaped ones, to another resale shop. Because I'm like, you know, I'm not going to keep hanging on to these things. So, without further ado, I do want to show you here, before I show the albums, this was in there. This is a this is in like brand new shape. A country music calendar, 1966. Yeah, 1966. 50 years old this is. It's got pictures of country artists. Hank Williams, Dottie West, Hank Williams Jr., stuff like that. And the calendar was not used. Go figure, right? I'm very surprised about this. I don't really know what it's worth. It's just fun. It's fun to have this thing. So that was the first thing I found off the bat, okay? Alright. So, the first few of these things, the condition, yes, there's some scratches on these things, but I would say at least VG, okay? They're playable, I can tell that. They're not all beat to holy hell, and you know, they're going to be great till at least I get upgrade copies sometime. The real cool part about this is most of these are still in the shrink, but right off the bat here, how about I show you a mono copy August 1962, Sound of Johnny Cash on Columbia Records. Yes. This one here happens to have, like I said, this is a mono copy. This is the front. This is the back. Alright, 2i. By the way, a lot of these ones she wrote when she bought these. This one here she bought August 22nd, 1964. But I like the back there because it shows you some of the older albums. But this particular album here, In the Jailhouse Now, and the original version of Delia's Gone, which Johnny would end up re-recording in the late 90s. The Rick Rubin, when Rick Rubin produced for Johnny Cash. Those are the original versions are on here. He also ended up re-recording some Sun hits like Hey Porter and other ones, but they ended up being not released until the 90s as well. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like I said, that one from August 1962, Sound of Johnny Cash. This next one here, August 63, Ring of Fire, The Best of Johnny Cash. In mono also. Here's the front. Here's the back. Pretty much here, though, that this one here consists of, back at that time, it's mostly A-sides of singles, B-sides of singles, and an EP is all that really this constitutes. This one here, of course, she also wrote down, she got this in September 64, Betty did. So I thought that was really happy, too. Of course, this one also on the 2i. But like I said, these things are in shrink. This next one here I thought was pretty amusing. I have a handful of these just like this, so I want to try to keep these really good. This one here from May of 1964, Johnny Cash's I Walk the Line. Yeah, it has the price sticker. It says here, save, regularly $3.98, now $3.37. This is the front, this is the back. This one here basically is a whole entire album of all re-recorded. A lot of the Sun material gets re-recorded, like I Walk the Line, Folsom Prison Blues, Hey Porter, a bunch of different ones here, all come out then, and that was from May of '64. The last Johnny that I happen to have, also in a nice beautiful shrink with the same save sticker, Johnny Cash's Orange Blossom Special from February 1965. This particular album release is one of the, how do I explain this? In late '64, Bob Dylan, he bumped into Bob Dylan, and Dylan ends up giving him a demo of 3 songs, including It Ain't Me, Babe, Mama, You've Been on My Mind, and another one that's, Oh, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. So, goes off giving Johnny a demo of these, which Johnny was actually obliged. He was really happy to record these things, too. I've actually heard the version of Ain't Me, Babe. It's odd. It's odd, but it's really, really cool. Here's the front. Here's the back. Of course, this one's also going to be on a 2i. This is a mono also. Alright, so next thing here. I like old school Patsy Cline, okay? The old school stuff. Here's the thing. I have original 45s and I got a couple original EPs, but I have yet to actually find an original LP. And what I mean by that is, of course, released before she died in May of '63. But to this here, I cannot figure this out. This one here is on Hilltop Records, which was a subsidiary of Pickwick. It's called Patsy Cline Today, Tomorrow, and Forever. Once again, though, it seems like Betty says here she bought it August 19, 1964. At least on the shrink, that's what it says. Most of this album, if I remember correctly, is comprised from 1955 to 59, when she originally recorded for 4-Star Records before she landed on Decca. And I put sessions in question mark, okay? But this actually happens to have, this is how I got this, a original version of Walkin' After Midnight, which of course she recut for Decca, and she ended up doing that. Alright, next, I thought this is kind of cool. The condition on this cover isn't really great, but the record isn't bad either. From late March 1958, Elvis's Golden Records in mono. She wrote in pencil on here, she bought it June 28, 1958. Here's the front, here's the back. Of course it goes off, it says, a new orthophonic high-fidelity recording. Well, the thing that I found out about this is that unless somebody can go off and mention in the comments page if there is one before this, according to some sources, they claim that this possibly could be the first greatest hits LP in rock and roll history that ever came out. Was Elvis's Golden Records. Now, I know you've seen the label before, but guess what? I'm going to show you anyway again. Yes, it's on an RCA Victor, and it's a wonderful little sucker, too. I like it. I don't have a copy of this, original or otherwise. Like I said, the only thing is I've got about that much of a seam split on the top. That's, you know, I couldn't do much about it. Alright, so the last couple here. In the box, I kind of felt sad because there was a copy of an Everly Brothers album on Cadence. Those things are half hard to come across, it seems. And the vinyl wasn't that great, and the cover was split totally. You couldn't even save it. But I did at least find the Everly Brothers sing great country hits on Warner Brothers. This is a mono copy. Your gray label. I'm not going to pull it out because it was a little bit harder to get out. That's what he said. Anyways, so basically though, he's going off and he sings some of the songs on here are Johnny Cash, Hank Williams Sr., and a Jerry Allison, Sonny Curtis, both from the Crickets, a song as well. This is the last song I'm ever going to sing. Well, how convenient that, of course, that happens to be the last track on the album. I don't know. Alright. These last two are pretty cool, and the reason why I'm saying that is they're the best conditioned albums of the whole bunch. But saying that this has got to be the second or third copy that I've come across of this, and this is the second copy that I've come across with a price label in the middle of it, different price label. They mustn't have sold a lot of these, you know, I mean, after the fact, because this, like I said, they put price down on these. I got Beatles' second album from April 10th, 1964. As you can see, save, regular $3.98, now $3.37. This is in the shrink, in a Capitol factory sleeve. I'm not going to pull this out, but except for that last track where there's a slight mark, that's the only thing that keeps this from being stone mint, honestly. I was very pleased. She obviously, I guess, did not dig the Beatles really well, because, like I said, I'm just very surprised about the condition on this one. Here's the front, here's the back. Now, this particular album here was a hodgepodge of stuff that the Capitol decided to throw together. This was a U.S.-only release. For example, things like Thank You Girl, which was the flip side of For Me to You. The single She Loves You, I'll Get You, which originally came out on Swan. You Can't Do That, which is the B-side to Can't Buy Me Love, and two new songs specifically slapped onto here, Long Tall Sally and I Call Your Name. Now, I'm going to tell you this, there are various mono-stereo mixes that are different that have to do with this release. I am not going to go through all of those. I'm sorry. It just would take way too long. And if you're interested in that portion of what I'm talking about, go look it up on Wikipedia, because that's exactly where I came up with that stuff. My last little vinyl bit here from 1973, Jerry Lee Lewis's Southern Roots. Now, this one here, I thought this is pretty cool. He tried to make a comeback in country, as everybody knows. This one's on Mercury label. But for this particular album here, 3/4 of Booker T and the MGs and Carl Perkins appear on this album. This actually made the country charts. The highest was number 6, and produced by Louisiana Wildman Huey Mew. I hope I'm saying that right. But, oh wow. I apologize, I also didn't know this either. Tony Joe White is on here too. You know, good old Tony Joe White, poke salad Annie, Gator got your granny. Yeah, he's on here too. But like I said, you got your Booker T and the MG's crew. You got Augie Meyer, which he ended up, of course, he was in Doug Sam's outfit, Doug Sam Quintet. He was on there too. So very excellent stuff on here. I'm seeing a lot of different session people too. I see a Mark Lindsay here, but I'm going to say I do not honestly think that's the Mark Lindsay from Paul Revere. But you know what? Oh no, wait a minute. Yes, it is. I apologize. Yes, it is. It says here, appears courtesy of Columbia Records, and he goes off, and I knew he knew how to play the horn. Okay, he played the sax, right? Mark Lindsay played the sax. So he's on here too. So you end up having 3/4 of Booker T and the MGs. You got Carl Perkins. You've got Mark Lindsay from Paul Revere and the Rage. You got a whole crap load of people on that one. I am going to have to check that out. So listen, last little bit I want to talk about real quick here. New subscribers. Yeah, I have a whole bunch since the last video. Here we go. Everybody one breath. The Grecian Thunder, Modus Vinyls, Diana Cope 1174, The Oompa Roundabout, Yvette Roach, Seas Breeze, Melanie Carter. This one sounds exactly like me. Another fat bearded man talking about records. Yeah, that definitely fits me too. Another. Lori McLaughlin, Vinyl Spin, Sean CIA, Rump Shaker 909, Davey Strange Name, Steve Price, Mickey Galena. Go check out his YouTube channel. He also writes music too. And Tanner Johnson. That's the last newest ones I have on that one. Alright, Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark, and Night Owl Lounge with Mike Adams, Sunday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard and 9 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday nights. The best damn Sunday night rock shows, along with This Is Rock and Roll Radio, Dana and Carl, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not going to forget you guys. I don't get to hear you guys that often, Dana and Carl, but it doesn't mean I don't think of you guys once in a while. So listen to all of those shows, alright? Let's see. Mike Bollier remembers Alan Freed on Monday nights, along with Freak Beat from Ken Worth on 107.5 The Spy out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I heard Ken's show about, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it very much. And I do get to hear Mark's show on occasion, so don't think, excuse me, Mike's show. I'm tired. As you can see, I'm still doing coffee. Thrifty Music Collectors Group, go off Tim Smith and Company on that one. Shindig, the best damn English rock magazine, period, without question. You know what? Also, go check out my friend Doug Fields' The Vinyl Grotto. Go off and subscribe to that on YouTube and the Facebook page, please. And lastly, the YouTube vinyl community. Without the YouTube vinyl community, none of us would be here. Literally, none of us would be doing what we love the most. I love you, VC. I'm sorry that haven't been around as much as I like to. The health comes and goes. I do want to mention one last little announcement. The third week of August. Yes. August, let's see, I think August 18th to, I would say, the 23rd or 24th of August. I will be in the Chicagoland area and southern Wisconsin border towns. If anyone in the VC wants to hang with me, Psycho DJ, to do a record run, and we could go off and shoot a show with everybody, I would love to do that. I apologize, I didn't have much time last year to do that. Things were a little crazier. I'm trying not to be so hectic in the schedule here. Don't know how true I'm going to be on that promise, but so yeah, anybody out there in the Chicagoland area, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, please get back with me in the comments section, or go off and shoot me an email, psyko_dj@yahoo.com, because that's my email address for Psycho's Platters as well. Take care. God bless. Rock on. See you next time.